I'm Jared Kuhlmann, and I am the Finance Director for the City of Garden City. I've been the Finance Director for a few months in a legitimate capacity. I was the interim since October of 2021. My interest in pursuing local government came from really just looking for a good job. When I got married a few years back, about 8 years ago, I was really looking for an employer that would value me and that I'd be able to contribute to. So I started with the municipal court as the probation and diversion coordinator there. Didn't really envision that it would turn into this career that it has for the city, but I definitely came across a gold mine that I wasn't expecting. I think one of the coolest parts of working for a municipality, especially the City of Garden City, is that there's just so many elements to what we do and how we serve the public. It definitely opened my eyes when I started with the court that I was in one function. I really only knew a little bit of the full picture. And it's like an iceberg as you get to know more of what the city does and how many different roles there are, how many opportunities there are for employment as far as just ways to give back to the community. I think that's something different because most entities or most places you work, you really are focused on one service or one field, but the city offers so many different things. I always knew I wanted to work in a business type setting. My initial plan was to probably be an attorney. I kind of took a derail on that one when I got married, but I've always enjoyed finance. I've enjoyed numbers and business, and so this finance role is really something right up the alley of what I was hoping to have as a career. The director role really covers a lot of different things. Everything ends up coming through me for approval, whether it be the journal entries that we're doing to move money around or fix things, the accounts payable before we cut checks. My signature is the last one of approval to watch for any sort of issues, fraud, discrepancies, errors that are completed. So a lot of it is a review and approval process, and then sitting down, coming up right now, we're sitting down with each department and presenting the budget for 2023, and that's a big deal. So overviewing and helping each department determine what do they need for the next year, where our monies are coming from, how do we allocate those out to all of the different divisions of the city, and then being responsible for the monitoring and maintenance of that throughout each year is the main function that I do. So it's a lot of work, a lot of auditing, a lot of double checking, a lot of reviewing to make sure that our money is being spent where we said we'd spend it, and we're using it responsibly because we have to account for that to the public. Right now, we have the 2 new assistant city managers started, so I am going to be under the supervision of Derek Ramos, who's one of those new assistant city managers, and he reports to the city manager. He's over the administration of the city to a point, and so we report to him along with HR, IT, some of the others in this city administrative center. We're under Derek's direction. We work a lot with those departments. Really, the finance department works with every department, especially those that bring in revenues. But ultimately, everyone has something to do with spending money to be able to work. So we have to work with those other departments and all of the leaders of the organization to be able to make sure that we can help serve their needs and accomplish what they need to do. I think something that surprises most people is just how widespread the city is, what we do, how many different services we provide. And then when you look at the budgeting perspective, it's just how much it takes to make that happen. When you look at our annual budget over $100 million, that's a big number. And so to realize what it takes to provide water and electric and wastewater and parks and a fire department, a police department, municipal court, to have all these different facilities or services that we provide, it takes a lot of money. And I think something interesting is that initially people think, or I think there's an idea out there that a lot of that comes from property tax and that people are funding that from their properties, but really that's only a small piece of the whole pie. A lot of our services have revenues associated to them or sales tax, and so we try to open up the arena of what all we can use these funds for to make sure that we provide the max service for the amount that we're pulling from taxpayers. I think there are a few projects that stand out to me. One thing I really am proud of and I enjoyed was when I was with HR, I was the training coordinator for the city, and we developed training where we would meet with the employees once a month in some capacity. And I really enjoyed that face-to-face time with the different employees, getting to know people and be able to provide that development. I think your employees are only going to be as good as you prepare them to be, and so as we pursued options to make sure people were trained and educated and understood practices and policies, we could do a better job in our roles. And so that's something I was really proud of, is being able to provide that service internally and that training to all of the different departments. And I really enjoyed the feedback and the interactions I had with those staff. I think if somebody was interested in being a finance director, I would tell them to go shadow and see how much bookwork is, how much kind of counting and mathematics and Excel is involved, to make sure it's something you really would be in tune for. I really enjoy that. I enjoy hunting down when we can't figure out why a number's off or what's going on. I enjoy the hunt, the scavenger, the challenge of figuring out what's wrong and where did it go and why is it not adding up. But it can make you totally want to pull your hair out some days, so you really have to know that that's something you are willing to do every day. And then it's a lot of a load, it's a big burden. There's stress associated with any role, but being responsible for the nitpicking accountability of $100+ million is a big responsibility. And so knowing that you're up for that challenge and willing to answer hard questions at times or make tough decisions, as you only have so much money available and there's lots of different projects we want to do, being able to help make the best decisions would be something you really need to make sure you're capable of. A lot of those who serve in a financial background pursue financial education through college, whether it be a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. A lot of finance directors are CPAs. It's not a requirement. I have a master's in business administration, and it's definitely very helpful. My emphasis was in entrepreneurial management, but that helped me to know how to run my own business, my own organization. So kind of a diverse area or breadth of abilities that came from that education helped me to know the different diverse elements of the city government, kind of ties into that. And so that's helpful. Definitely want to understand finances, any sort of basic or accelerated financial studies is going to be very helpful. I think one of our main emphases that we have been promoting is just trying to make it so there is more options for the citizens or the customers that we serve to access accounts online, to be able to see and understand their meters, to be able to have easier functionality of paying their utility bill. So we have a wide breadth of options as far as making payments. Another element we're looking at is updating our internal financial software, which will help us to be more efficient, which will help us to increase the ability to process transactions on a quicker basis, and hopefully show that results to the customer so they can see live results. When they make a payment, it shows on their account right away. They can see what their balances are and have a little bit more accessibility to that, as well as a little bit more transparency on the financial background of the city, so that citizens can access and see where the money comes in, where is it going, what are we using it for, because we want those who contribute to the city and those who live here to know what those tax dollars are being used for. So at this point, there are a lot of different ways that a resident can pay their bill. We're open from 9 to 4. We shifted and changed those hours beginning in 2022. But you can still come to the window, or you could come to our office in person and pay with cash, check, or credit card. That sometimes is very busy, and so those that don't want to wait in line or sit out in the drive-through, you can pay at the front door to our office. There's a kiosk called Jack. You can do an automated payment. You can pay online at any time if you have your customer ID. You can also set up automatic withdrawals from your bank account or automatic bill pay. A lot of customers have gone that route just because then they don't have to remember, they don't have to worry about it. Their bill will be received in the mail, they'll still see what that amount's going to be, but it's going to automatically pull it from their account. And those who want to have a little more control really choose the online function, where rather than have to come to our office, rather than have to get in your car and drive over here and put a check in the box, you can just pay from the luxury of your couch while you're watching Netflix. So it makes it really nice. We want to continue to look for opportunities of how to better increase those options going forward, and really using technology and using the tools that we have available to us is something we're going to continue to pursue.